Some people call me the space cowpoke. Yeah. Some call me the meatball of love. Some people call me the meat. I preheat those meatballs so people keep talking about it. Yeah. When that sub might be too long. Don't you worry now, don't worry, pretty mama. We got 6 cents if you don't want foot long. It's the sweetest thing that I ever did eat. You can get it on 3 cheese or whole grain wheat. Marinara, marinara, marinara on the bun. Ooh, baby, eating it's a lot of fun. Gonna eat it, you'll feed it. Once you bite it, gonna need it. 'Cause it'll hit you just like drugs. This thing is smoking, oh you're joking. Leave your taste bud broken. All that fun between those buns. Ooh, ooh,
Oh my gosh, I don't think there's anything better than that track. That is the track right there. But you know what's better than that track?
Oh, please do tell, son.
Oh, it's this here meatball sub from Moss Elite's Playground Hospital Tex-Mex and Candy.
Oh my gosh, it's the most Tex-Mex and candy sub to ever be created. That's right, folks. It's an advertisement within an advertisement. We're the first ones to do that. We're gonna be rich.
Butterscotch Ripple. Can cut. I think that's going to be a good one, guys. I think that's going to sell a lot of subs for us.
Hey, what up, Dirty? Where the party at?
Oh my gosh, you came out of nowhere, Dirty.
I decided to drop by completely unannounced. What are you guys up to?
Oh, not much. We just finished cutting that commercial for the new Tex-Mex and Candy meatball sub for Marceli's Playground House with Tex-Mex and Candy. I 3 cheese a whole grain wheat.
A sub, you say? Well, tell me more. Is this sub just a lie?
I tell you more, you can get it on Jewish right.
Pumper Nickel. Oh yeah, Pumper Nickel.
Oh my gosh, you're making me hungry. Well, tell me more. Is this sub really large?
Oh yeah, it's big, and what's more, I tell you, taste the sauce.
It's Mara. Oh yeah, Mara.
Well, you have me convinced. Here, let me hold that. Give me that. Turn and face camera.
It's time, and I don't know how I feel about eating this sub, because I made out of meat, and this made of meatballs, and I feel like I'm eating one of my cousins.
You ain't
I
gonna eat
think
this
I'm
power
going to
dog
go
crap. We just
grab
gotta
one of
sell it.
these bad boys while supplies last.
And cut. That was great, guys. I think it's really going to be a moneymaker for us.
That's right. It was a commercial within a commercial within a commercial. We're the first ones to do that.
Hey,
We're gonna be
how
rich,
come
boy.
that Simon gets to improvise and I have to read from a script?
Look, it's not my fault that I can't read, okay? I mean, I could if I ate this meatball sub from Moss Elite's Playground Hospital Tex-Mex and Candy because it gives you superpowers and all, but I haven't eaten it yet, even though I know it's really good.
Hey, idiot. Turn it
Look.
the camera.
Oh, sorry. I mean, this new meatball sub from Moss Elite's Playground Hospital Tex-Mex and Candy, even because I haven't eaten it yet, but I know it's good. I'm smiling really big now.
That's right. It's a commercial within a commercial within a commercial within a commercial. We're the first ones to do that. We're gonna be rich.
And cowabunga, dudes and dudettes. Welcome to another episode of Whoops, I just opened up the Isotope product portal.
Sorry about that. Welcome to another episode of It's Just a Regular Show About the Regular Show. I'm your host, that one guy whose name is particularly hard to say, and that's okay. And it's close to Christmas time here. When you listen to this, it'll probably be close to Christmas in July, but that's okay. You know, I thought we were going to cover Muscle Woman today, and I was super stoked about it, but turns out we're covering This Is My Jam, and I'm still super stoked about it because this is a great episode. Since last time, I've already jabbered on about it when I went back. You probably listened to it already if you listened to that episode. I don't know, because those wacky guys from whatever the band is that does this show, they put out one on whatever episode that was. It was the one after Unicorns Gotta Go. Anyway, I was telling you about Adventure Time, Fiona and Cake. Man, loved that show. Anyway, I'm probably going to go watch it after this is over while I play the bass or something, learning to do that left-hand machine gun stuff. You know, all that Les Claypool crap, except to really suck at it. That's okay, because it's fun and it hurts my hands. Anyway, This Is My Jam. Let's get on to that bad boy. This show is my jam. I don't eat jam, but if I did, it'd be regular show jam. Maybe. Anyway, you can probably hear me scrolling my mouse and everything because I got this fancy new booth and I got this little laptop thing, the desk thing, and I can put my mouse up on it. No more sitting the laptop on my bed and covering up the microphone with an acoustic blanket and putting the acoustic blanket behind me and it's still having sound echo off the walls because that's what sound does. I don't know why I was even trying. It was an exercise in futility, to be honest. But anyway, This Is My Jam. Woo! It's a good one. It is the 13th episode of Season 2 and the 25th episode overall. Obviously, I'm getting my information from regularshow.fandom.com/wiki. Okay, production code 213. Premiere date, March 28th, 2011. It might be around the date that you hear this. I don't know. Probably going to be after that, though. Date in the UK, September 21st, 2011. That's probably closer to the date you'll hear this in 2024. So happy show anniversary whenever that comes around. Directed by Mike Roth, written and storyboarded by the legendary Sean Seals, the music guy, you know, Baby Let's Just Party Tonight, amongst other songs. Synopsis of the story: Rigby gets an endless song from his youth stuck in his head and eventually becomes possessed by it. All right, so I'm going to go down here and look at the cast. We got the voices. It's kind of short on the list here. Mordecai, J.G., Quintel, Rigby, William Salyers, Pops Benson and Muscle Man, Sam Marin, and Skips is Mark Hamill. Now, some of you probably already know this episode. You know, Summertime Lovin' in the Summertime. Yeah, you can't say Summertime Lovin' without Lovin' in the Summertime. It's kind of like when Carl on Aqua Teen, he plays the air guitar for that lady of ill repute. You know, Wheedly Wheedly Wah, Wheedly Wah, Wheedly Wah Wah, Wheedly Wah. And he says, I wrote that for you. It's called I Want to Rock Your Body. And then in parentheses, to the break of dawn. And she goes, oh, baby, that's so rockin'. You know, something like that, because she smokes. I'm not saying that if you smoke, your voice sounds like that. That's just the joke in the show. Anyway, it's kind of like this. Summertime Lovin', parentheses, Lovin' in the Summertime. Anyway, let's get on to this thing. I mean, there's not a whole lot this is really one of those episodes. We'll get to talking about it when we get into it. Let's just go ahead and get into the breakdown of the show. And I just noticed that this microphone was positioned way too high and making me sound very tinny. Not quite ideal for podcasting. Anyway, so the episode opens in a very routine fashion with the birds chirping, and we have a shot of the park, daytime. Mordecai is on the roof of the house, and he's cleaning out the gutters. He's got some yellow gloves on, like Master Shake, you know. He's getting all them leaves out of the gutters, and they're all mud. He's like, oh, this is disgusting, and Rigby's up there with him, and as usual, you know, he's just kind of slacking off. And he's like, would you come help me? And Rigby's like, I'm helping. I'm holding the hose. And first he says, the view up here is amazing. I feel like a giant. And he just stands up.
and it's very cartoonish. It doesn't have like like double negative there, dude. It doesn't have, like he goes off in his imagination. He's a giant stepping on bills or anything. He's just standing there going, whoa, kind of like in a front lat spread type pose, except Rigby doesn't have lats really. But anyway, Mordecai's like, will you come help me, dude? And he goes, I'm helping. He's like, I'm holding the hose. And he goes, look, I'm taking a giant leak. And then it zooms out from the house. He's got the hose and he's spraying. He's going, whoa. And it just, he's taking a giant leak. There's no other way to explain it. It's pretty good. It catches you off guard. And it's one of those, they were still getting away with that type of jokes. It's pretty good, I got to say. It caught me off guard. It actually it's already that time in this episode. You know who else watched this episode? That's right. My mother watched this episode, and this caught her off guard as well. That's about all I got to say about that. Anyway, so it turns out that I was wrong. Mordecai is not wearing the yellow kitchen gloves. It's Rigby, because Mordecai says, well, you don't need the gloves to hold the hose. Look at this. Bah! And he holds up his hands, and they got mud all over him. And Rigby says something like, sorry, man, I guess you should have thought of that before we played rock, paper, scissors, and you lost to my scissors. And he really is kind of acting like Master Shake there. Probably not as much of an anus line, but yeah, that is kind of giving me those vibes. Anyway, Mordecai's like, will you at least spray this out? So he sprays the leaves out of the gutter, and he hits like a row of them. And if you ever sprayed leaves out of a gutter, you kind of know what it's like. It's not exactly entirely accurate, but it's a cartoon. Hey, the leaves fly up, and there is a cassette tape under these leaves, and he hits them, and it flies up and hits Mordecai in the face, and it lands, and they're like, what the crap is that? So Rigby says, maybe it fell out of a plane, and Mordecai says, no, it's probably just left up here for, I don't even know what he says. He just gives some excuse, and he's like, I'm going to see how far I can chuck it. And Rigby's like, wait, no, don't you want to see the band that's on it? And he goes, okay. So they don't spray it off. He actually rubs it off with his hand, and it says solid bold. Mordecai goes, solid bold. Oh, it's that one hit from that band, Summertime Lovin'. And then Rigby does it. He can't help it. He goes, Summertime Loving? Loving in the summer time? He says it in rhythm, And you look at the title of the tape, and it's, quote, Summertime Loving, comma, loving in the summer, parentheses, time, close parentheses, quotation. And I mean, that is total. I'm sure that they didn't get, this from Aqua Teen. I mean, Aqua Teen did do this joke several years before them, but this is probably more of a commentary on how pop songs around the time were. Well, even still, like, you got the parenthetical titles at the end there. I think this whole episode actually is just about like how generic paint by or connect the dots, paint by numbers, whatever you want to call the pop song, formulaic, I guess is the word, that the pop songs were around this time. Although I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, when they play this song, I think it's catchy as all get out. It's horrible, but it's like, I mean, if you just play this for a kid, they're going to say it's horrible. But quite honestly, there's a part of you that's like, deep down, you're thinking, this song's kind of kicking, I mean, it's intentionally cringy, but the production on it is, I mean, it's pretty cool, and it's very catchy. So it's, I don't know. It makes you smile when you listen to it. At least it does me. Maybe it's just because it's associated with this episode, but yeah, I'll take that song. Anyway, Rigby's all like, gimme. And he goes, oh, here, take it. And he goes, this is my jam. And in the words of Peter Griffin, huh? He did it. He said it. Did everybody hear him? He said it. He said the title. Anyway, yeah, this is my jam. And Mordecai's like, whatever, fine, take it. They suck. And he's like, whatever, man. You were into them back in the day. And then Mordecai's like, yeah, for that one summer. And then I realized they totally suck. This is NSYNC. If you were a kid around that time, there was at least one half of a year, part of a year where you thought either the Backstreet Boys or NSYNC, you thought you really enjoyed those bands. Even if listen, let's be honest here. We come real close. You can tell me the truth. You liked NSYNC for a little while. If you're my age, even if you're a guy, you liked NSYNC or Backstreet Boys. Probably not 98 Degrees. I mean, I don't know. They had that Uno Noche song. I don't know. Actually, I liked Sugar Ray. They got that like best of album where they got like a pop song and then it's like a faux heavy metal song and then another pop song and then another like heavy metal song with F-bombs in it and then another pop song. Pretty good album. Anyway, I really like their pop stuff. But yeah, this is totally like kind of how the NSYNC was back in that era. It was like when they were hot, everybody liked them at least for a little while. And I'm sure there's bands like that now, but Backstreet Boys probably not so much because people still like them. And, I kind of still like the Backstreet Boys. I don't care to say. I heard that new NSYNC song, though, and I don't know. It just didn't. Well, it's not new at this point, but the one that was going to be on Trolls or whatever just didn't do it for me. And there go the dogs. So I'm going to pause this, and I'll see y'all in a little while. Okay, I'm back. I got them shut up, but I don't know how long it's going to last, so I better hurry here. Anyway, Brigsby's like, dude, you got to listen. He's like, I don't want to listen to that trash. He goes, whatever. We'll pop that thing in the boombox or whatever. He doesn't say boombox, but, we'll listen to it, and the good memories will come flooding back. And he goes, fine, I'll listen to it, but just because I want to take a break. So the next shot, they open up the boombox stereo thing. They pop that tape in there, turn it on, and it starts this infectious beat. I can't really replicate it, but the words to the song, it's summertime and you know what that means. Going to head down to the beach, going to do some beachy things. It's summertime. It feels just right. Going to gather all my friends and we'll party through the night. And then it goes to the chorus. It's summertime, loving. It's loving in the summertime. And then like one of the people on the team, they ad-lib, they go, it's summertime. And then it's J.G. Quintel singing, I'm pretty sure. It's summertime, loving, my baby, why can't you be mine? Something like that. I don't know. The rhythm gets caught in their head, though, and it gets... Anyway, I better stop or I'll be cursed with that all night. I won't be able to sleep. The second verse, it's summertime. They don't play this verse, but like you'll hear it later on. It's summertime, and I just can't wait. Going to call you on the phone. Going to take you on a date. It's summertime, and I hope you like steak. Going to take you to a restaurant and eat it after late. Anyway, that's some really forced... Okay, I'm good. Oh. Hey, baby, it's summertime and I hope you like steak. I'm going to take you to a restaurant and eat it after late. And then it goes back to the chorus. Okay, verse 3. It's summertime when dinner's done. Going to take you to the club. Going to dance and have some fun. It's summertime, and when the end is near, going to put you very close, whisper, let's get out of here. And then it does the chorus. Oh my gosh, there's a fourth verse. It's summertime, and I just can't wait. Call you on the phone, going to take you on a date. I thought he already did, but it's summertime, and I hope you like steak. Going to take you to a restaurant. Going to eat out at the lake. Okay, I guess that makes more sense if you have like a restaurant that's on the lake, by the lake, whatever. Then it goes to the chorus again. This is like the attention that they put into this song. I mean, the length of the song is just unreal. That's production quality, folks. It's unreal. Aqua Teen did the same thing. Like there's so much detail that goes into these almost inconsequential production elements that you like 90% of the listeners aren't even going to notice, but there's 4 or 5 verses to this song. And like, I don't think 15 seconds of it plays on this episode, at a time. So anyway, great job. I got to applaud Sean Seals and all those guys for coming up with this. It's fantastic. Brigsby's like, dude, so anyway, the chorus plays through, and while it's doing it, Rigby's got his hands up in there doing that, that yeah thing, and he's waving his hands over his head, and then finally he goes, before the chorus is even over, he goes, okay, this song sucks. And he goes, I told you, and he pops it out of the tape machine, bank shots it off the wall in the trash can. He goes, I guess some things just don't hold up. And he goes, see, I was right. Okay. Or he goes, I guess you were right. And he's like, or now you're making sense. And he goes, and now I'm making snacks. So they go down to the kitchen and they make sandwiches and they're eating them. And while they're eating them, they're chomping on them. And Rigby's, summertime loving. And then he takes a bite and he goes, loving in the summertime. And he's like, dude, quit. He goes, you're singing the song. And he goes, I am. And he says, yeah. And then it shows him up on the roof, and Rigby's just standing there doing the giant leak thing again. Summertime love. And Mordecai's like, quit. And then they're sitting on the couch and they're watching TV. And he's going to go out into the beach and go to do some beachy things. And Mordecai's like, dude, quit. So there's one more scene where they're walking to the park. Same old thing. You know, it's just like, I guess it's the rules of 4 this time. But anyway, they decide we got to get that song out of your head. And Rigby, yeah, okay. So we got like the conflict of the story going on here. And now we're going to see how they solve that. We've got the rising action coming up. So I think the first idea Mordecai has, yes, he's saying, you know, we're going to play this song all the way through to where you can get it out of your head. And there's supposed to be, you know, that was a thing around that time. I think you'd hear on the radio, if you got a song stuck in your head, play the whole thing through. It's scientifically proven to. Turns out I was wrong again. He doesn't want to play the song the whole way through. He wants to play different music. He's like, I've got it. Brain explosion. That's Mordecai. And Rigby says, what? You can't explode my brain? And he goes, no, the band Brain Explosion. And he goes, I've never heard of him. And he goes, well, you got to be in the know. He goes, I guess you don't know of them. You got to be in the know to know, you know? And then Rigby goes, no. And he goes, and that's why you've never heard of them. And he goes, trust me, they're like real musicians. So he says, just listen to some of this and it'll blow that trashy pop music right out of your head. And he puts, it's a CD, it's not a cassette tape. And he puts it in, and it's like this, it's like trance music or something. And it's kind of discordant. It almost sounds like it's in Locrian mode or something, which is, it's not very sonically pleasing. Well, I shouldn't say that. Some people do find it sonically. It doesn't resolve all that well. This does resolve. So it's in some weird mode. I don't know. But it's just like the same motif over and over, the same melody line. And I actually kind of enjoy it, but he's like, it's the same thing over and over. And he's like, Mordecai's like, oh, wait, here it comes. And then it goes, and he goes, oh, that's the best part. And it's like the exact same thing that just played. But Rigby falls asleep, and he's like, Rigby, wake up. And Rigby wakes up, and the first thing he says is, loving in the summertime. You know, he goes, oh, I'm sorry. I guess your music put me to sleep. So then Mordecai tells me he has no taste in music. Rigby says, look, all I know is that song's still stuck in my head. And now he suggests that he listen to it all the way through. So they pop that thing in, and they turn it on, and it starts to play. And Mordecai's like, I can't take this. I'm going to wait outside. So he goes outside, and this lines up. Rigby starts listening, and then it quick cuts, and he's lying on the bed. And then it quick cuts again, and his eyes are like real wide. And then he's lying against like the dresser, like so much time has passed that he's just like moving around, and he's just, you know, he can't, like, it's just too long. And that makes sense. I mean, there's 5 verses to this song, you know, and with the choruses in between. And yeah, so props to him again for that. That's just going above and beyond. But Mordecai comes back in, and he's like, did it work? And Rigby's response is like, I think it worked, but I can't be sure. So maybe I should listen to the song a little more. And now he's like, we're going to have to take a more extreme course of action. So we get a little mini montage where the song's kind of playing in the background, but Rigby sticks his head in a toilet. It does nothing. So then they go into the living room. Mordecai starts up a push lawnmower and then a blender, and he's blending something up. Maybe it's a weenie smoothie from Eatwad. I don't know. When you let them suckers sit on the windowsill until they get real green and slimy, that's when they's good. Anyway, he blends up something. He turns on the push mower, and then he grinds a little pencil in a pencil sharpener. I guess he's trying to just like buzz everything out of his head. I don't know. And then the very last thing is he's got a helmet on, and Muscle Man's beating him over the head with a broom. And he's like, wait. The song's still stuck in my head. And Muscle Man's like, you got a song stuck in your head? And the helmet then gets thrown at Muscle Man, and the montage is over. So now they're standing back in their bedroom by the boombox about to do something. So then we hear the tape start playing again. And Mordecai's like, dude, stop playing the tape. We already tried that. It didn't work. And he turns around, and the tape's not playing. Rigby's like levitating. It's that time of the show, folks. Things just got surreal. He's levitating, and his mouth's open, and his eyes are really wide. And there's like these purple rays radiating out of his mouth. The song is being emitted from him. And he closes his mouth, and he's like, oh, and the song stops. And he's like, dude, what are you doing? He goes, I don't know. I can't. And then his mouth opens back up again. The song starts playing. And the humor here is it's just very well executed, because every time the song comes on, it interrupts him, and he can't speak. And he starts levitating. And it's almost like hiccuping or something. It's great. And I guess the other thing to point out is every time the song comes on, it's just like, it's not picking up at the same spot. It's like it's picking up where it would have been. It's like they're just cutting the audio track and then restarting it wherever, or not restarting it, but letting it pick up wherever they punched in Rigby's voice is almost what it sounds like. So they take him to Skips, and the song's still kind of playing, and Skips is like, I've seen this before. And he goes, what do we do? And he goes, hold still. And he turns around Rigby, punches in the back, goes, ugh! And Rigby hits the wall. And he's like, why'd you do that for? And he goes, you're not thinking about the song anymore, are you? And him and Mordecai start laughing. He goes, it's not funny. And right before he can get funny out, like the song starts emitting from his mouth again. So Skips tells him to just go to sleep. He'll probably forget everything in the morning. So we then, we cut to the house at night. Rigby's asleep, and he's having one of those nightmares, very reminiscent of, well, maybe not very, but a little bit reminiscent of the Nightmare on Elm Street movie, Freddy's Dead, that last one kind of that they did that had Roseanne in it. And, the dude had the hearing aid and Freddy cranked up the speakers and was playing it and like jumping behind them and screaming and everything. It's kind of like that. Rigby's just sitting there, and then a speaker comes out of the ground and it's playing the song. And at first I thought, hey, they messed up the audio on this because the speaker is on the right side of the screen and I'm hearing it in my left ear, but turns out I've got my headphones on backwards. Very well done scene. He reaches into his ear and he pulls out that cruddy old tape. It's got like either earwax or it's still got like the mud on it or whatever. I don't know, but he pulls it out of his head and throws it. Well, it turns black and it grows and it stands up on legs and it starts running at him. And then Rigby wakes up from the nightmare. So when he wakes up, he discovers that the song's no longer in his head. He goes and he wakes up Mordecai, wake up. And Mordecai is pulling the whole pretty much drunken Homer Simpson thinking, what? And even the look in his eyes are very Homer-esque again. And his beak, the way it is, like when Homer gets drunk at Moe's and he's staggering around. This is very much like what Mordecai is, I guess, when he wakes up. He's like, the song's no longer in my head. He goes, that's great, dude. Now we never have to listen to that trashy song again or something like that. And then you hear the song play and he snaps wide awake and they look over and that dadgum cassette tape's big and it's got arms and legs and it's got a big pair of red, like, horn-rimmed glasses on, or sunglasses. They're not horn-rimmed, I'm sorry, but they're these big, thick frame red glasses and they're dancing around while the song's playing, pointing at them and, it's really corny dances. And Rigby says, I have no idea what in the heck I'm looking at. But, I mean, it's kind of obvious, It's cassette tape, probably says Solid Bold on it, and it's playing the song. Anyway, and you're the one that had the dream. Mordecai, he explains it, though. He does the exposition city type thing. I guess when you got it out of your head, it manifested the song and reality or something. This is Freddy Krueger type stuff, man. So, just a side note, this would be awesome. Honestly, if I could just walk around school during the school day and have this cassette tape just follow me around singing this song, pointing at people, it'd be like, I wouldn't even have to, I mean, it'd suck while I was trying to teach because nobody paid attention. Just like when I was walking in the hallway, it'd be fantastic going to the office. Summertime loving, and just pointing everybody. Rigby's like, hey, dancing tape dude, quit. And people watch this episode. There's so much, the combination of humor in this episode is fantastic. There's visual humor, there's auditory humor, it's just got everything. It's so diverse in its humor, but you got to see the dance moves, just the cheesy animation. I love shows that have like cheesy animation. It makes things so funny. But the thing's doing like the Running Man. I don't know. I don't even know what the moves are called, but he starts slapping Rigby on the head. Rigby tries to jump at the tape and he ends up going through it. And he's like, it's a ghost tape. And then the tape starts making even more like questionable dance moves. Then we get an iconic line from the show. I mean, in recent times, it's become like a meme. And it's very true, I guess. But it's I see it a lot on the Facebook groups and the internet groups. But Mordecai delivers the line, I guess you can't touch music, but it can touch you. Honestly, that's kind of a great line, but at the same time, Rigby's like, oh, barf. How do we get rid of it? And he goes, I don't know. Maybe if we just leave it alone, it'll go away. The next few scenes we see, it's following Mordecai and Rigby around as they do their daily duties and their activities, and it's doing its thing. It's dancing, and this song is playing. So it's doing it while they're eating cereal for breakfast of a morning, I guess. while they're mowing the grass, it's chasing them. They're working the snack bar and it's harassing customers. And then I guess the next day, they all have the park meeting where they get on the steps and they get their duties assigned for the day. And it's up there on the park dancing. And the actual reel on the top cassette kind of looks like it's smiling underneath the glasses, which I thought was kind of cool. You'd probably miss it if you weren't paying attention, though. And it's annoying the crap out of all of the park members. And Benson's got his ears covered. And this is the first time we see Benson in the episode, I believe. So Benson gets angry and he goes, "Ah!" and he screams. And it's kind of cool. I don't know if they did this on purpose or not. They time it just right in the song where it says "loving in the summertime" and the chords swell up. It almost serves as like a riser and an impact in a modern pop song when Benson growls and he screams. They time it up just right. Fantastic. I don't know if it's a happy little accident or if they did it on purpose, but once again, I have to applaud. I have no gripes about this episode so far. None. I am loving this thing so far. So, guys, already go out of your way to watch this one. It's a great one. So Mordecai and Rigby run upstairs and they try to open a door, but it's locked. And I just noticed this comes into play later. I'd never noticed this before either, but this does come into play later. Door's locked, so they go in the other room, they close it, and like, what are we going to do? Mordecai's like, we got to fight fire with fire. And Rigby says, yeah, right, fire, I'll just go right through it. And he goes, no, dude, we got to write our own crappy, catchy song. And then Rigby's like, oh, snap. And he goes, that's great. That'll be the title. And then they hear the door slam and it's the tape. It runs up the stairs. And it's great because the closer it is, the louder the song gets. They do such a great job with the sound on this show, even to the point where when the tape is on the other side of the wall, the high end of the tape is cut. And that's a very simple, sound design type thing, but the high end's cut off and all you can hear is the low part. They don't miss a beat, it seems like. Like they don't, even the little tiny, they just get all the stuff right when it comes to making things atmospheric and everything. Listening to this show in headphones kind of really gives you a new perspective, I guess. Man, maybe one day we'll get regular show in Atmos. That'd be something. Of course, nobody ever listened to it because nobody has an Atmos set up, but the tape phases through the wall. So they run out of the room and we cut to the hallway and they find Pops. And they're like, Pops, you got to help us stall that stupid summertime song while we go. And you got to dance with it or something like that. And he's like, but I can't stand that song. And they go, we know, we're going to get rid of it for good. And once again, this whole time while they're doing that, there's that low pass filter on the audio. So the high end's cut off. So it's still behind the other wall. And he goes, all right, but I'm not going to use my best dance moves. And great. And they all run off. And then the high end of the song comes back. So it's faced through the wall, comes running up to him and it's dancing with him, like pointing at him, and he grabs like his belt and he starts doing like an Irish jig and he's going, It's great. Oh, before they ran out of the room, the tape, the thing that forces them out of there, it sticks its pelvis towards them. It starts like raising the roof, Just the suggestive nature of this episode is just kind of hilarious. Anyway, they run down these steps and they run to the garage and they open it up and it just happens to be packed with music equipment. I don't know if this is where Mordecai and the Rigby store their crap or what, but there is like an amp. There's either a really crappy looking guitar or a bass over on the right wall. And there is a red synthesizer. Let's check and see if it's the Power. It doesn't appear to be the Power. There is no the Power written on it. So he goes, okay, we need a melody. And he goes, brr, 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 something like that. And he goes, okay, we'll just keep repeating that. That is another commentary on pop music of the time, And he goes, now we just need lyrics. Go. And Rigby goes, loving in the summertime. And he's like, no, dude, we got to make up our own lyrics. It doesn't. He goes, come on, dude, give me something I can use. He goes, what do you like? And he takes out a notepad and Rigby goes, partying. And he goes, okay. Macaroni. All right. Yeah. And naps. I love naps. He goes, okay. Yeah. That's good. And then we'll go with that. And then you hear Skips. Okay, I'm here and I brought my bass. And they go, Skips, whoa, how did you? And then he cuts him off and he says, I know everything, remember? And they just kind of, the look on their face is like, whoa. And it's all in amazement. And he goes, yeah, I'm just yanking you. I was on the can and I heard you playing. But that's why the door was locked when they ran upstairs. And then the other thing about this shot is you can see the front of that instrument that I thought might have been a bass, might have been a guitar. It's a guitar. It's a black guitar. So then Skip says, let's roll. And they take off driving in the golf cart and they signal Pops on the walkie-talkie to say, Pops, come in. And he's still upstairs. He's doing a different dance this time. I don't know. It's almost like one of the Footloose, the Hokey Pokey put your left foot in, put your left foot out type thing. And he's like, yes. And he goes, we're done. We're prepared. We need you to lure the tape out to the park. And he goes, yes, okay. And he goes, come this way, my friend. The party continues this way. And he takes off running out, and the tape's chasing him. And that's funny because it looks like 2 feet. They stick out behind his head like 2 feet, and it's chasing him. And they're driving in the cart, and they've got all the music gear packed up. They get up to the park, and they plug it all up. And Skips has his bass. Mordecai's got the guitar, and Rigby's got a tambourine. And then you hear, wait up! And it's Muscle Man. He goes, you weren't going to start the party without us, was you? And this is the best part of the episode. Skips goes, yeah, Muscle Man blows a mean piece of brass. And then Muscle Man, he's got his hand behind his head. And High Fives Ghost is holding the trumpet up to his mouth, and he starts, High Fives is playing the keys while Muscle Man's blowing on it. And it looks so wrong, but it's hilarious. And the Muscle Man goes, you know who else blows a mean piece of brass? And then, no time, they're coming. So they cut him off right there. So it's like, that joke happens so fast, but they don't let it linger. It's brilliant. I love that. This is regular show right here. That is like one of the epitomous jokes or the examples of humor in regular show. It's fantastic. So, here they come, and the tape's chasing Pops, and Pops, he runs up. They're like, Pops! And he runs over there, and he gets on the keyboard they set up. So Rigby, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the song is like, aw snap, come to our macaroni party, then we'll take a nap. And it just keeps getting repeated over and over. And the trumpets somehow got like a whole lot of reverb on it and everything. And the song's like, it doesn't say anything, but it starts dancing, and it starts playing its song, the Summertime Lovin' song. The sound waves start colliding. It's not working. Play louder. So they start playing louder. So then the cassette tape starts break dancing or dancing on its back. This is a great part too. It does the Big Trouble Little China thing. The energy waves hit each other, and it creates these two beings made out of energy. One of these figures in the regular show has like a guitar, and the other one's got like another guitar, and they're like swinging them like axes and battling each other. So they keep playing louder and louder. And the sound waves colliding off of it reach Benson's apartment and like blow his windows out. He's like, ah! And you think he's all mad and everything. And, things aren't looking so hot for our heroes here. The screen starts turning red, and the visuals here are awesome. But you see Benson driving up in the cart, and he's got something on top of the cart, and he's just gritting his teeth, and he's like, ah! And everybody's falling except for Mordecai. He's the last one at the mic, and they're all still kind of just like barely singing, laying on the ground, like they can't take it. And then Mordecai falls, and he goes, oh, shoot, Benson. And Benson, like, I don't know if there's a handbrake on a golf cart or what, but he slings that baby sideways, skids it in there, and he goes, unbelievable. And Mordecai's like, oh, no. And he says, you guys forgot the most important part of writing a catchy song. And he jumps up on top of the cart, and he pulls the cover off the thing on top, and it's an electric drum kit. And he goes, the drums. And he gets on, and he puts his headband on, the 80s type headband, and he does the big tom roll, and then click, 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 click with the sticks, and they start playing. The drums just fill everything out, and the spirit figure throws the other one off of it and then swings and hits. And it's crazy because they're playing it, and Benson's in the center, like wailing on the drums, and he's singing the words to it. So he somehow knows the words. I guess maybe he heard them on the way over. And I guess all snap, come to our macaroni party, then we'll take a nap isn't that hard to memorize. The spirit figure swings and beats the cassette tapes one, and the cassette tape blows up, and it's just epic. And this is the first real character development we get for Benson, which is fantastic. You're going to see this expanded upon in a pretty good episode, and quite a few times in the series, actually. But there's one episode specifically dedicated to Benson playing the drums. I think it's called 150-piece kit. Regular show's in full swing. We've got character development for all the characters. So they end this show very cleverly. They all do their whole Final Fantasy fanfare. Da, 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 da. It doesn't make that noise, but Benson spins the drumsticks around his hand, and they all throw their hands up in the air, and they're doing the whole fanfare thing. And he jumps off the cart, and Mordecai's like, Benson, I didn't know you could play the drums like that. And it cuts to Benson. And one thing I've got to point out here is the headband was plain. It was plain white headband before. Now it's got like a little squiggly on it. Kind of wish they would have done the red, white, and blue stripe, total 80s type. But anyway, he says, well, it's a funny story, actually. And then Rigby cuts him off because he's now got the All Snap song stuck in his head. And he's just singing it. And they're like, ah. But they did a great job leaving the door open for this concept to be explored. So this episode is fantastic. So this is definitely at least an 8.5. It's in the running for the best episode I've covered so far. We're getting a lot of those good ones at this point. But this one, the laughs are like, this is my type of show where the humor is very dense. It's just so fast paced, and it's great to slow down and analyze it and look at the detail that they put into each and every one of these jokes that they did. And like even the Summertime Lovin' Song, after listening to it play for the whole episode, I actually can see why they needed 5 verses. But just the commitment to making that song that long for it to be like kind of the heartbeat of this episode, that's what's going on in the background. But you've also got all these jokes where it's like, let me deconstruct that. And when you do, it's like, man, it's something that's like this type of episode has enough humor in it that could last for a 30-minute episode, but they've squeezed it into 12 minutes. So on one hand, they are kind of, they're not being the most efficient they can with the humor and stretching it out. But I also applaud them for that, because it's like, man, they just did that because they love to make people laugh. This is what I like. This is like kind of art for the sake of art, if you want to call regular. I think the regular show's art, but this is humor for the sake of humor. This isn't to make everything. This isn't for longevity purposes. This is like the big firecracker you set off, and it blows up. It doesn't burn out. It blows up. I mean, this is like, it goes out with a bang. So everything happens very fast. It's in your face, and it's a lot to sit back and think about, but you ain't got time to think about it as it's happening. So I'm very thankful that I got to cover this episode. It's really kind of one of the highlights of my week, honestly, just being able to go back and deconstruct this, because it's there's a lot here. And yeah, I don't know if I could say anything else about it. Let's go to what the wiki has to say about some of the production. Let's see. Mordecai actually liked the Summertime Song when he was in junior high until he realized how lame it was. Benson revealed to be a great drummer. Yeah, I already said that. Muscle Man is revealed to play the trumpet. So that's the first instance of, that's not the last instance of Muscle Man playing the trumpet, by the way. They recycled that. There was something I read somewhere else, though. I'm pretty sure this is way back, probably like the second time I watched this show through. And that's been years ago, but where this Quintel did write this as a commentary to pop songs at the time, and that's very apparent. This is probably about, I don't want to say as good as it gets, because my humor my sense of humor may not be the same as yours, but for me personally, this is about as good as this episode at this point in the series could have been. I have no gripes about this episode. It's fantastic. I've probably used that word 12 times already, but it is a fantastic episode in my eyes. And that's about all I could say about it. I mean, I don't have anything else to delve into. Next week is the episode that I thought I was covering today, which is Muscle Woman, which after rewatching, I found I got a newfound excitement for reviewing that episode, because I wasn't dreading it, but I'd always skip over this one for some reason or another. But going back and watching it, I thought, man, there's some good homages in here, and there's in that episode. I don't know if I'll remember to mention this or not. I'd say when I see the character, I will, but they set up, I don't know, once again, I don't know if it's intentionally or not, but like there's a character in this that just appears on screen for like 2 seconds that they make a whole episode about him later on. We get a Jurassic Park reference. We get a Terminator 2 reference. We get a Back to the Future reference. There's all kinds of stuff going on in there. And not as many in this episode, but this episode, like I said, it's just, oh, heck, I'm going to go out on 8.6. That's right. I'm adding the 0.1 because it's just, but yes, great episode, great TV. Go out of your way to watch it, people. I can't recommend it enough. Heck, watch it 3 times for all I care. Great episode. Come back next time. We'll be doing Muscle Woman. That's about all I got to say. We'll have a new character of Starla with a new voice actress. I don't know if she's been on the show or not before, but Courtney Taylor. It'll be a good time. Wish you all the best. If I don't see you again before Christmas in July, well, have a good Christmas in July. I say that because it's almost Christmas time here as I record this. It's December 3rd, so I'm pretty sure I'll record another one before Christmas, being so doing one about every week. Anyway, thank you for listening. Any follows or shares or subscriptions or reviews would mean a lot because it helps me grow on the algorithm. Appreciate you. And until next time, insert catchy parting phrase. Simon, what crap was that?
What was what, other guy?
The song.
Oh, it's called Small Bomb. But
I know what the song is, dude. What are you doing? It sounded like crap.
well, yeah, other guy. That's how you know it's real.
It didn't sound real. It sounded like he sped up. It sounded like he switched the Verispeed or some crap.
How dare you? Look, Benson D said we wasn't going fast enough, so he sped it up, and Schnapps wanted to shred the guitar like a mother, okay? So why don't you just get that crap out of here?